Hey YouTube, in this video I'm gonna be talking why I never again gonna be working in Asia for somebody else in a school. And I tried to open my school, but there is no way I could give enough money for a bribe and for the legal permissions to have a school here. So although I rented a nice house with a nice room for teaching, this simply could not work it out through their, of course, legal reptilian obstacles. And therefore you have to understand that only Illuminati members and reptiles, of course, do have permissions to open a school in the area because they like to have access to children and their programming. So the reason why I don't want to work for school again is I had the similar experience at the end in two different schools, one in Samut Prakan, Sarasas Witaed, huge school, almost 3,000 teachers, 3,000 students, a huge building, loaded, it belongs to the royal family, extended member, and so on. Reptilian, run with the satanic symbols there, like triangle and circle and stuff. So in that school and another one, small school, tribal school in Banlung, happened same mechanism. Although the second one was not run by the Illuminati, it was run by the rich Chinese family, local family, mixed as Chinese and Khmer. But it was same pattern, and that pattern was this: I was one of the best teachers according to my managers and director. Kids loved me, parents loved me. And then smearing started, smear campaign, and then after that I was fired. And after I was fired, I was hired again. I was called again to work in a school because that was obvious mistake. And then in the first school I was fired again over bullshit. And in second school, same thing happened. Lukruchai, my boss, told me you're one of my best teachers, and of course I knew it. It was not a problem. There been only two white people in that school, and one was a cool guy from States, another one was me, and then you had local teachers with pidgin English, and local teachers, I was teaching them present continuous, present simple, and they had huge problems figuring out that mama cooks lunch, no mama cook lunch. These guys stayed, okay? So we see here the pattern, right? And what is behind that pattern? First thing is first, you have to understand that I'm targeting individual. This is one part of the problem, and that means that any psychopath in the area are gonna notice me and start smearing campaign. And that's exactly what happened in the first school. Some guys figured it out that I'm smoking marijuana. They reported that to the director. She fired me. After that, she hired me. I was again one of the best teachers. I was again loved by the parents and the children. And after that, I was fired over talking publicly about GMO food and how bad it is. It was a food day. I was giving them lecture on a food, what is a good food, organic food, what is average food, this one, what we eat, what is worse food, GMO food and synthetic. So some people, and it's a rich school with rich people there, so some people had money in GMO, and officially in GMO industry, food industry, Thailand is huge in the food industry, and I was fired over that officially. In the second school, I was fired over literally 5-year-olds complaining that I hit one of them, and that one which was supposedly hit was laughing all the time, and nobody really complained, no parents, nothing. And essentially, I was in a class. They called me. They said, "Did you shout at the child? Did you lay hand on a child?" It was like that. Shut up! When they've been hitting with their fist and in a door and screaming, and that was it. I was out. After that, the guy called me again and offered me a job again, same pattern, and I told him that I don't want to work for him again because I know how it goes. So what are the hidden mechanisms? The hidden mechanism is, of course, envy. Not only that I'm white, that is my problem. I'm also, well, you figure it out by now, a certain level, right? And that certain level is felt in the classroom when I'm teaching children, and I'm teaching them. And I love to teach. I love to prepare for a lesson. I like to go on the internet. I like to look for the pictures for the movies. If we are talking about Norway, and I'm supposed to teach them from black and white text like that, I prefer to find pictures of Norway, avalanches there, beautiful houses, coastline. And I was in Norway, right? An average Khmer teacher was never out of his community, maybe Phnom Penh, and eventually only minority of them in Bangkok for construction works. So, of course that I was loved by the children, and when I was fired, that of course that children, and I know that for a fact, start to leave the school because they could not have a foreign teacher anymore. And that brings me to the topic, how is, and I know it for a fact how it goes with the Khmer teachers and how culture works. So this is for you Western people explanation. Khmer, they simply don't care about this. For them, it's perfectly normal. The Khmer culture works like this. It's actually a caste system. In that caste system, the officers who belong to the state, army officers, they are also property owners, and it's not uncommon to see in a country where people make $80 a hammer of 280,000 here also in karate from that class. And when their children are in the school, their children automatically enter school with the attitude, I can walk over anybody, I can hit anybody, I can spit anybody, I can be rude to anybody. If anybody is rude to me, I'm simply gonna complain to father gonna tell director, and that person is fired. This is exactly how it goes in this system. So when they have Khmer teacher inside, he automatically understands the game. Okay, they suck as a teachers. Trust me, they totally suck because they normally don't really speak English at all. It's like grammar out of the window, basic English, nose, cheek, hello, hello. That's it. So when that guy is in the classroom, it goes like they're like talking how English, a difficult language. They're making fun. They go into typical Khmer mode. If you ever been in Cambodia, giggling, giggling, giggling. One person in the center, everybody. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, look boy. Oh, and this is the system. And the little psychopath in the group is happy, and he's running the show. Unfortunately, mostly kids' parents are unhappy because they pay money. Kids per definition never speak English, or they speak my name is what your name, hello, hello, that's about it. So really only minority who go here to school can communicate on English, and it's pretty much waste of money for most of them. But yeah, they are slow learners, as Luke Ruchai said, to put it mildly. That means they need many years of constant work to get somewhere. And then they figure it out. Shit, let us hire the white guy, and they hire a white guy. White guy walks in, he makes a discipline. They start learning, but problem starts with exactly that. And then you're gonna have, in my case, that just constant gossiping and bullshitting. And in Thailand, they've been only saying for me when I was passing by the, Ajahn male, which means stoned. Essentially, that means everything. Drugged, stoned is male, and no good. And that's exactly what fired me. When I said, why am I no good? You no good, you no good. Why? Ganja. Ganja. No good. That was it. See, they are very simple people. And if I really hope that I'm gonna manage to transmit this message to you. Human brain is essentially a computer. If your human brain, when you see certain person, let's say this tree is a person, and every time this tree is passing by, chokbo, no good, chokbo, parang chok, no good, no like, and when you see the tree, what do you think? No good, chokbo, no good, no like, no good, no like, right? And that is exactly what's happening with me. And when manager hears from that simply ha ha ha, no good, chokbo, or they simply say they go like that, or simple people. What's gonna manager have emotional in his mind? Negative emotion, negative emotion, negative. On other side, positive feedbacks which people don't really report. And then when he fires me like Luke Ruchai, people gonna walk into his office and said, where is that good teacher? He was teaching us this, he was teaching us that, he already had books, dictionaries, computer, he was showing stuff on a big screen. Where is his the guy? Why we now have this local guy who go, hey, me no speaky England language, tick tick. It's a difference, right? And then people start leaving school, and then they call me again. And then I go through the same process because core problem is still there. I'm always gonna be good, and they're always gonna hate me, and that never gonna go away. So that pretty much concludes why I absolutely, when I'm going to the market, I'm passing by the Aruna school, I immediately can spot It's reptilian school. It even has a name, Nuna. Aruna, essentially meaning a serpent or flying being. And I see, structure inside. I see lots of students inside, and I see also people unhappy inside. And if I see people working inside unhappy and stressed, I know it's reptilian bullshit. And sure, in that school, if I would walk in, I don't know, maybe. Thing is, I just don't wanna even think about these horrible possibilities through to go through that treatment. Imagine that you you work your ass off, you work for $600, you work every day of the month, 5 days in a week, and then you have Saturday and Sunday for huge amounts of paperwork, checking out tests, and of course spending time on a computer in a school. And months after months after months, at the end, when you get eye infection at the time, and when you're in pain, they fire you over 5-year-old complaints. You know, and that really concludes my feeling towards Cambodians, towards their management system, towards how they treat people like me. And you know, I just honestly, I would feel like a utter piece of shit if I would ever give to any one of them my CV and like, could you please hire me? And I just gonna finish with this. When Lukru Chai said to me, "You are one of my best teachers," repeatedly, I told to him, "Now problems gonna start. Now I gonna have enemies and notice what's coming again. This is how it's always in the beginning." He just laughed, but he's the guy who fired me over phone when he was in Japan. Over a 5-year-old complaint. Asia, even a 5-year-old can fire you over bullshit.